these videos will make you question reality. So remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check out some urban legends.
This is a real sign located in Davao, Philippines, and there is a scary urban legend that surrounds it. As you look at the sign, there is a silhouette of two children waving and an eerie instruction stating, "Please wave back." For years, an online debate has raged on. Some locals argue that this sign serves a practical purpose, a gentle reminder that a school lies nearby. Its intention is to urge motorists to slow down and acknowledge any children they may encounter in or around the vicinity. However, some eyewitnesses denies the presence of any school in the vicinity, and they insist that there are wandering spirits of children in the area. It is believed that these apparitions are not pleased when their kindly waves are not returned by people passing their way. There are no reports on what might happen when you don't wave back, but it's probably better to wave back for your own safety, or you might now know that they might haunt you for the rest of your life. This is a real sign.
Even if I don't believe, I'm waving. I might even give you the Miss America pageant wave or whatever they call it. Like, I'm waving, fam. Was the Philippines on my list to visit? I can't remember, but if it is, this might make me remove it right here. Stuff like this. I don't need that type of energy in my life, man.
If you ever hear a whistle coming from the woods, it's probably too late for you. As you may have heard, you should never whistle near the woods at nighttime, or you may attract something sinister to your location, like... However, these creatures are not the only ones that are indicated by a whistle. El Salbon, also known as the Whistler, is said to have been a Venezuelan man who was doomed to become a damned soul after murdering his father, or father-in-law, depending on which version of the story you hear. According to one version of the legend, the man had been working on his father's farm when he received word that his pregnant wife had had her virtue questioned and was murdered by his father, or father-in-law. He became enraged and killed his father to avenge her death. Upon finding out that he had killed his father, his grandfather teamed up with many of the local farmers to capture and brutally torture the man by first whipping his back and then rubbing salt into the wounds to increase the pain. They then murdered him by sending two huge dogs after him as he fled into the woods. His body was never recovered, so no one really knows what happened to him. However, many people believe that he became a restless soul wandering for eternity, killing any adulterers and drunk travelers that cross his path. Another version claims that he shows up at people's doorsteps with a bag of bones, sets it on the doorstep, and begins counting every single bone. And as the story goes, if you don't listen to the clinking of the bones, your entire family will die. Regardless of the specifics, all versions claim that his presence is declared with the sound of a whistle. If the whistle sounds nearby, he's actually very far away and you're probably safe. But if the whistle sounds far in the distance, he's nearby and it's probably too late for you to escape. If it's any consolation, you'll get to travel a lot as bones in the whistler's sack. That's kinda cool, right? If you ever hear a...
I'm trying to think back, did I ever whistle besides the woods? Like as a kid, teenager, I walk past woods all the time. I don't think I've ever done it. But I can easily see how you could just whistle without even thinking about it, walking past some woods. You can be sure it's going to be on my mind now. Like me and Queen take like walks. Walks, and sometimes they lead late into the evening. It's dark when we're walking, and we're walking past some woods. Some people may even live out in the woods. You know what I mean? So how does that even apply? Like, don't get me wrong. I don't believe in all urban legends, but some of them kind of make you think. You know what I mean? Urban legends. Like, remember the movie Urban? I might go back and watch that for sure, now that I'm listening to Urban Legends tonight.
Okay, so in Trinidad, there is an urban legend surrounding a pregnant woman. According to legend, she passed away during childbirth, and she goes by the name of Judelie. It is said that she is in eternal grief due to the loss of her child and walks around late at night in a long white gown with unkempt long dark hair looking for her baby. However,
I'm sorry, but what is up with the white gown? Like, most urban legends you hear about involving a woman or lady of the night or whatever that has either lost a family member or a child or something. They walk around in a white gown screaming. What is up with? It's starting to make me think like the same person is making these up.
However, some people have claimed saying that they have actually seen her holding a baby and that the baby is screaming due to the fact that she is unable to produce any milk for this baby. They say that the baby usually sounds like a cat in heat. Achuri Lee's main victim is a pregnant woman due to the fact that she is envious of a pregnant woman since she wasn't able to carry her baby to term. Another one of her victims are men who cheat on their pregnant wives. She absolutely hates them and she will come after them. And also, if a man is abusive towards his pregnant wife, Achuri Lee will show up and handle business. It can typically be found on a lonely road, usually near a silk cotton tree or near a pregnant woman that she is currently haunting. Some of the unfortunate people that have come across her do describe her as having grotesque features. They say she has backwards hands, backwards feet, her face disfigured. But according to legend, never ever ever let your baby cry it out, because if you do, you run the risk of having her come to his aid. Okay, so
it makes sense. This urban legend came from a woman who's been done bad by men. When she said men who cheat and stuff like that, yeah, it let me know right then all I needed to know. Who came up with this urban legend right here? Some woman who's been done bad by men, and she was set out to put out some type of story to get back at them.
For your sake, I hope you are not alone and it's not dark where you are, because I'm going to tell you some urban legends that will probably make you yourself. Now, this first one actually terrifies me, and I'm actually getting ready to leave for work and I'm home alone. My roommate is out of town now, so walking outside is going to be a bit of a challenge. But without further ado, let's talk about the black-eyed kids. Now, their origins are pretty much a huge mystery. The first sightings were published around the late 90s. This is when people started reporting seeing them in like rural areas or even on highways, and they appear originally as lost children. So common encounters with them include they will, as I said previously, they appear as lost children, and they will typically ask you something along the lines of, hey, I'm lost, like, can I use your phone? Like, they'll knock at your door or at your car asking for a ride, saying that they're stranded, something along those lines. Now, if you don't respond or don't let them in, they will start to get more and more vicious each time. They'll just keep on trying, like, let me in. They'll just grow increasingly agitated with you. Now, they typically come at night. They'll knock on doors. They'll knock on your window. All sorts of. And one thing that people have tended to, like, notice with these children is how their skin tone, it's pretty pale, in contrast to like average people, of course, and of course their black eyes. Like, there's no white in their eyes, it's just completely black. Now,
sound like Children of the Corn or something like that, don't it? Don't it?
No one has ever lived to tell the tale if they end up letting these children in. It's reported that they are either cryptids or some type of alien human hybrid, but as I said before, their origins are pretty much unknown. Now, this next one is a certified hood classic. It's Bloody Mary. If you don't know what that is, then I don't know what to tell you. But this is a huge...
Bloody Mary has been around for so long. Like, how old do you think the urban legend of Bloody Mary is? And I feel like I've said her name too many times, so I'm going to stop right here. Yeah, I still don't mess with that urban legend right there. That's the one that freaked me out as a kid.
A huge part of my childhood back in elementary school, and it actually triggered my fear of mirrors. I hate mirrors. Yep. I will try and cover them as much as possible. I try not to have them in my room and so on. Like, they actually terrify me. And I remember in elementary school, a couple girls thought it was funny to lock us in the bathroom, turn off the lights, and start chanting her name. And that just pushed my phobia even more. But let's get into the backstory. So this was actually a divination ritual in like historic times, basically. So a woman would walk backwards up a flight of stairs with a candle lit,
And when she would look into the mirror, she would be able to see her future husband's face. And sometimes she would see a skull kind of symbolizing the Grim Reaper, basically meaning she would die before she would be able to get married. And then eventually Bloody Mary came about. Elementary school, what I was told was that you just had to chant her name 3 times in a dark room in front of a mirror, and then she would appear and kill you. But allegedly, you have to chant her name 13 times with a candle, and this will cause an apparition to appear. She'll either be nice or demonic. Either one. And if you want to test it out, be my guest.
I don't care if it's 3 times, 13 times, with a candle, with some fireworks. I don't care. I'm not doing it. Not her. Not playing with her.
Now this next urban legend is a bit lighter. It's the story of Herobrine. This is for all my gamers out there who grew up on Minecraft, because I remember looking up YouTube videos summoning Herobrine, and I would try and do the same thing on my little iPad at the time back in like the early 2010s. Sorry, my eyes are like watering. And it was just such a huge like phenomenon at the time. Like, you just had to be there. So Herobrine was allegedly Notch's dead brother, and he would haunt single-player worlds. Now, what makes this so creepy is if you've ever played Minecraft alone, it can be creepy. Like, you're just in this vast world. Sometimes the ambient music, especially when you're in the cave systems, it can be actually terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. So it's no wonder why this used to scare us so much. Now, the first sighting of Herobrine was actually reported by a 4chan user, and one key thing that players would notice if Herobrine was in their world was trees would be like, how do I explain it? They would be like missing in a sense, like parts of trees would be missing as if someone was already there. I don't know if you know this, but if you've ever played Minecraft, when you cut down trees and stuff, it's pretty apparent. The blocks don't really grow back, or at the time they didn't grow back. So this was like a key thing, and the player spotted Herobrine in the fog, like in the distance, and Herobrine typed out stop and then vanished as quickly, almost as quickly as the player saw him. And this kind of sparked, you know, the ongoing Herobrine theory. And then came the rituals and YouTube videos to summon him in your game. I'm like low-key scared to go outside now because
I might have to ask my kid. They play Minecraft to death. Like, I don't even know. I think they possibly still do play it a little bit, but they played it a lot. And I never heard of anything. I'm going to ask them about Herobrine and if they ever knew anything about that, but they never spoke of it to me at all. So I'm not familiar with that urban legend.
After I'm done with this, I'm like heading out to go into work. And I'm just like, my car is like right in the driveway, but I'm just like, I'm still like terrified to walk out, and I need to pee as well, and now I'm scared to pee. Like, now you guys can see how much of a scaredy cat I really am when I'm alone, and I'm like actually scared. A lot of these, like, this video actually feels nostalgic because this was stuff that I grew up with as far as urban legends, and they actually, like, a lot of the phobias I have now stem from these urban legends. Alright, we're done. This is the finished look. I like to keep it simple for work because I'm on my toes, but a lot of patients like compliment my eyes whenever I have this type of makeup on because it just enhances them and enlarges them because I have hazel colored eyes. So
okay, I'm out. Like, no, that was a little bit too much for me as far as the makeup goes, but the stories was pretty good. Salute to her for the stories.
Okay, this story creeps me out so bad that I just like think about it periodically. Like, I hate it. I hate this story, so now you have to hate it with me. This is the story of Nora Petrova, also known as Annie. Annie was a figure skater who was doing quite well, and she basically decided that she was going to Google her own name, which, moral of the story is, do not do that, by the way. So once she Googled herself, she finds this Wikipedia page, which, by the way, if you still trust Wikipedia, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I really don't. Side note, I think Wikipedia is a little bit creepy. But anyway, she finds this Wikipedia page, and to her surprise, it's telling her that she's going to basically win her next, like, what is the thing called for ice skating? Is it like a tournament? Is it like a meetup? I don't remember the name of it. But competition. Let's just use the word competition. It was saying that she was going to win the competition that had not happened yet. So she's sitting there thinking, like, are my parents doing this to, like, give me confidence? What is going on? And she winds up winning this competition. So then she goes back on there again and she's like, let's see what else it knows. And it just like consistently was staying like just a little bit ahead of like the events that were going on in her life. So then fast forward, this is almost like becoming like a little game. She decides that she's going to like periodically just go on there and see what it says. And it's predicting all of her wins and all of her losses. And it's correct every single time. So as you know, Wikipedia, you can go ahead and edit it yourself. You can just get in there and do it. So she's like, okay, if this thing knows what's going on, what happens if I edit it? Can I change the course of history or the future, I guess it would be? Yeah, but all of a sudden, when she starts going in there to try to edit it herself, it starts getting mad and it starts saying like crazy stuff about her. So this possessed Wikipedia page is basically what I'm going to call it, ends up saying that Annie is a pathetic little orphan. And I forgot what else, but something to that effect. And then her parents end up dying in a tragic accident. So this just keeps going on, and the Wikipedia page is just out of control at this point. And then one day, she goes on there, Googling herself again as if she didn't already learn her lesson. Would you ever go back to that page? Because
No.
I would not. But anyway, she goes back on there, and it says that she's going to die friendless and alone. And guess what? She did. So moral of the story, do not Google yourself. Do not look at a Wikipedia page that is about you, because I don't know what AI is doing out here these days. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's like possessed. I don't know what's happening, but let's just like not do it, especially this October during spooky season. So obviously, like, I wasn't there when this was happening, so I can't like confirm if the story is true or false, but I do know stranger things have happened. So I want to know, do you believe the story about Annie and the creepy Wikipedia page? Or do you think it's all just an internet urban legend?
Could be an urban legend, bro. But at the same time, I want to Google my name, but I don't want to Google my name now. You know what I mean? I don't want to know. Yeah, I just don't want to know. Imagine opening that Pandora box and it happening exactly like this story in this situation here. No, thank you. Especially if you believe that we're in a simulation and the Wikipedia could be a way for you to see where you're headed next in the simulation, like foreshadowing your future and everything. Yeah. No, thank you, bro. Let it just happen and I'll deal with it as it happens. But me seeing it, And then you definitely, because I know some people are still going to go Google their name. Of course, I know y'all are going to do it. But don't even be in there trying to change nothing if you come across something.
3 urban legends that turned out to be true. Number 1. In the 1980s, parents in Long Island terrified their children with the legend of Cropsey. He was a murderous man who lived beneath an abandoned school and would capture children. But it was later found that the old janitor of the school was still living on school grounds, and it's believed he was responsible for the disappearance of several kids, which made the legend of Cropsey true. Number 2.
See? And when I'm saying see, it's because I'm thinking back to my elementary school days, man. Did y'all have creepy janitors too? I can think of one person. I ain't gonna say his name, but I can think of some creepy ones that was around our school that I was like, bro, you never want to be alone around this person right here at all. You might not make it. I can see his face right now so clearly. And people used to mess with him and pick at him and, you know what I mean, do different things, but I never, no, thank you. No. Other than the occasional nickname, I went no further than that.
Charlie No Face was the terrifying legend of a featureless man who would roam the streets of Pittsburgh at night. But it was discovered that this man did exist. His name was Raymond Robinson. He was a very nice guy, and he only left his house at night as he feared his deformity would scare people. Number 3. Legend has it that
that ain't urban legend. That's just sad. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for him. Not scared. Sorry. Feel sorry for him.
An escaped asylum patient roams near the Fairfax County Bridge where countless amounts of dead rabbits have been found. There wasn't any legitimacy to this legend until a couple drove through this bridge in the 1970s only to find a man dressed as a bunny who threw an axe through their windshield before they got away. 3 urban legends.
Nah, man, I feel bad for Charlie. He don't deserve that. You know what I mean? So I hope people not treating him all kind of different ways, man. I feel bad for the dude.
It's an urban legend that's known throughout Mexico and also the United States. The woman that danced with the devil. Like many other urban legends, there's different takes on the story, like, depending on the region. So the first one I'm gonna talk about took place in Tijuana. And it was about a girl who was rebellious. She liked to sneak out a lot to local discos and clubs and stuff like that. There was this one time where she was partying 2 days in a row, like straight. I guess on that night, she was already feeling tired. She just wanted to go home and rest. But then her friend convinced her to go to another nightclub the following night. She was like, you know what? Okay, whatever, I'll go. And then the next day comes, her mom's telling her not to go because it's basically Holy Week that week, and she wants them to go to church. She doesn't listen. She ends up sneaking out, and she goes to a nightclub called Aloha nightclub. As the night was going, she kind of felt bad for sneaking out, and then she told herself, "All right, I'm gonna just take one more shot, and then I'm out of here." And then that's when the guy comes, I guess, swoops her off her feet. They go dance, and they're dancing for a long time to the point where she doesn't remember how much they danced for, like how many songs passed already. They're just dancing the night away. All eyes are on them dancing. The girl notices. She's like looking around and stuff, like, why are they looking at us like that? She ends up looking down. The guy had hooves for feet, and then looks at the guy's face. It's all distorted and devilish looking and stuff. She ends up passing out. The only thing she remembers is waking up to the paramedics and like the place is on fire. Witnesses say that after she fainted, the devil was laughing and ran to like one of the back rooms and like later disappeared and the place went on fire. And now the second story. This one takes place in Stockton, California. A club called the Flamingo Club. It's an urban legend that's...
Why does this feel like a story that feels like it's a lot of truth to it? You know how you can hear certain stories? You already seen me pick through a few of them. You hear certain stories and you're like, that's fake. That's, yeah, okay, cool. We'll go along. It's an urban legend. Cool. Just like to hear a good urban legend. But this, this got a different feeling to it. This feels like it has some truth to it. Let's keep it moving away from, get far away from this one as possible.
One of the strangest cold cases in the state of Alabama happened in August. 6 people went missing in May of 1999. According to the story that was pieced together, James Anthony Reynolds and 5 other people left the Hideaway Club in Opp, Alabama. He was accompanied by Lamar Stackhouse, Valerie McCoy, Evla Lee, Tamara Ward, and Angela Young. The group left the club between 3 and 3:30 in the morning. They traveled together in Lamar Stackhouse's burgundy 1986 Chevrolet Caprice. The group never made it home and they were reported as missing persons. It took a little over 4 months for investigators to find the car submerged in the Pea River in Coffee County, Alabama. 5 of the 6 people were found inside the car. James Reynolds was not. Authorities searched the river and the area for any signs of Reynolds. He was never found. Investigators would then say that Stackhouse's vehicle would end up in the river due to a single car accident. And as a reminder, that's where the official story stops and conspiracies begin. There are countless other theories that you can find scattered across the internet. People have been poking holes in this case for years. Because Reynolds was on probation for drug trafficking, many people think that there is some form of alternate justice, believing that the group may have been stopped before they ever reached their destination. Others have also pointed out the shaky details around the car being found in the water, which obviously should have shown signs of being underwater for over 4 months. Some locals even say that even the way that the bridge and the road is made, that it would have been near to impossible for the car to end up in the water. While the conspiracies are mostly speculation, one thing remains true. Someone knows what happened that morning. And maybe one day someone will do the right thing and give those families the closure that they deserve. One of the strangest cold cases.
Stories like this, bro, give me the chills, man. And especially the ones that are unsolved. And everybody in that area knows about it. And you have to live with that and think about that type of stuff. So then when loved ones go out or go to a club, you can't sleep at night, you're worried. You're stressed out. This type of stuff causes stress, puts stress on an area, a town, a city. Like this type of stuff, like my son, this just 2 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to say it was 4 or 5 people from school in a car wrecked. 2 of them didn't make it. 2 or 3 of them didn't make it. 2 of them were in like critical condition, and the other one is like didn't really sustain any injuries, man. Just sad stuff like that. You know what I mean? That puts a damper on the entire city. These are the urban legends and stuff like that that really get to me. You know what I mean? But listen, man, y'all get at me in the comment section and let me know of some different urban legends from around your city. leave a like, share the video, subscribe, and stick around and stay tuned, man. Till next one, I'm gone. These videos will make you question reality. So remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out.
How you doing? Not good. What's going on? Okay, Herobrine, come out here.
That was the night I called the police. We saw their arrival. It was in a teardrop-shaped balloon. It was humongous. It was across the street, hovering, 2 frequency sounds coming from it. It moved across the street and it vanished. Later that night, these appeared at the back of my yard. Now, I'm going to zoom in. For those of you who are saying people are faking this alien stuff, you guys, my story is real. My encounters are real. They came to my neighborhood in 2021 and it's just been non-stop. 3 houses they arrived to. Ours was the first house, a couple houses down, and then further down the road.
Before we go from there, did y'all see what I thought I saw? Are y'all looking in the trees? Because that's where I'm thinking I'm kind of seeing something kind of flash, look like maybe a face, but I can't really make it out and tell. It's looking like the trees though. Let me go back.
In 2021, and it's just been non-stop. 3 houses they arrived to. Ours was the first house, a couple houses down, and then further down the road, because we heard the doorbell ring. I don't have a doorbell. It was some type of signal they gave that they were there. You understand what I'm saying? This is my security camera, you guys, picking this shit up. For those of you who are saying you don't understand what ETs are and extraterrestrials and interdimensionals, you watch my videos and you go, I don't see anything, because you don't know what they look like. They have come in so many shapes, sizes, forms, colors. Actual creatures have come in my house. Some stood as short as 2 feet, some as tall as 9 feet. I've been taken up on a craft by humanoids, you guys. I call them humanoids because I thought they were human. But above their top lip, it's split open. Now, if you look at the front of that tree, you guys, that is where the portal is at. The people that was up on that ship, they were like doing something at that tree. And when they wanted to communicate with me, that whole front of that tree, it would turn into their face. And they would talk to me telepathically. This is a security camera footage. It's not been edited. It's not been none of that. I have the original of everything. So what happened in Miami? What happened in Las Vegas? That is real.
Good point.
Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not real. They are here. The next clip you're about to see, I recorded with my cell phone. This is before I even got the security cameras. That was the day they arrived. That's not a helicopter. That's not lightning. They were coming down from that light. I recorded it. This was the first thing my security, once I installed my security cameras, the first thing it captured. Now, if that was a speck, a bug, now y'all saw that shoot straight up, right? From that's a portal right there in my driveway. Now, why would the cat look back if that was something on the camera lens? The cat saw it coming. Now, y'all see that shooting up from that portal, right? What is that green light right there? That right there. So many of y'all. Those are planes she's recording. Those are helicopters. That is their ships. They're all up in my trees, and they go straight up into the sky. You guys, I took a collection of my best videos and I put it together for you guys. So you don't have to watch hundreds of videos. This is part 1. Now I'm going to give you guys part 2. So make sure you...
Listen, man, first she got to calm down, bro. I'm concerned about her. You can hear how stressed it's making her. You hear it in her voice, especially in the beginning. Her voice started off kind of trembling. And I instantly picked up on that. You know what I mean? In reality, this is how people are feeling, though. When people don't believe them, they're trying to be true and genuine about what they're seeing and give it to y'all. And see, a lot of times when people put videos out there, they're looking for other people who are dealing with the same type of situation to kind of confirm. You know what I mean? They're putting it out to show y'all. They're putting it out to tell y'all about what they're experiencing, also for others to speak up and say that. You know, but she's not getting that. Obviously, she's getting a lot of pushback because maybe she didn't put a arrow or a circle around where the alien was in the tree, because that's what I was waiting for. Maybe her to kind of point to it, give us a little, you know what I mean, arrow. But she sounds stressed out about this type of stuff, man. We got to do a better job of providing. That's the same thing that's going on with David Grush and everyone that we're trying to get to come forward and speak about it. They don't feel comfortable because of how they're going to be viewed, the backlash for it, the consequences of them speaking out against certain agencies and what that can mean for their future, their family, their careers. We got to do a better job of creating a safe space, man. And clearly, we're not doing that. I don't know what to say about this footage right here. Probably fake, possibly. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be like, we've seen so much grainy and unclear footage. Like, who snaps this footage and not go completely viral? You know what I mean? So you're forced to say, this is fake. Gotta be. We ain't have nothing this clear yet.
UFO filmed in Colombia. Footage is confirmed real. Could be a drone, but no one can name the model. Therefore, it is an identified flying object. UFO filmed in Colombia.
And that don't look nothing like the jellyfish that we're currently seeing floating around the internet right now, that they're currently speaking on the news and Congress and different ones. This doesn't look like that. So that leads me to believe, okay, if this footage here is real, what are we dealing with? What are we dealing with, fam? You hear often people talk about the different species. If this footage is real and the other footage is real, then we definitely got multiple species or different things that we dealing with, man.
It is the video of an unidentified object that is sparking debate and curiosity. No one can say for sure what exactly this is, and now for the first time, we're hearing from a Marine veteran who says he served on the base where the video was taken in Iraq.
Did you think when you watched it for the first time that, like, it could be, non-human?
It crossed my mind because the theories that we had, like I said, didn't fully explain it.
Michael Sinkoski was an intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance tactical controller at the base in Iraq. He says the video was captured in 2017 and shown to him by colleagues when he arrived in 2018. Marines nicknamed the object the Spaghetti Monster.
When they started seeing it on the camera, they were watching it to make sure that it wasn't a threat. They kept an eye out, but it wasn't like we were scrambling to our defensive positions or anything like that. It was just a big unknown.
It is the video of an unidentified...
First of all, what about that makes you think spaghetti? What about that? I don't understand that whole name reference, where they got that from. But anyway, bro, like, I don't even know why they calling it the jellyfish. But I could kind of see jellyfish a little bit opposed to spaghetti something or another. Anyway, but the more I look at this, the more I keep saying to myself, man, we're actually seeing a possible video like this close. Remember the Tic Tac video? We got that footage, but still far away, still grainy, still little speck, white, moving around fast at different speeds. That's what we could tell. This hovering, floating around, just moving along, and then they say it goes in the water. They show the videos of it going in the water, coming out the water. Like, nah, this is different. I see why they held on to this one to the right time. This one here, because imagine them putting this out years ago before David Grush and them spoke. That don't really hit as hard as now. after they spoke, testified before Congress. Now you release this footage and let everybody see this. It makes so much sense now.
I've watched this video now more than a dozen times, and it's new UAP videos just like that one that are leading to more questions, not just from the skeptics, but also from the UFO community.
The skeptical theories doing the rounds are that this is either a bunch of balloons somehow tangled up and drifting in the wind, or that it's a smudge of dirt on perhaps the lens. Look, again, the Department of Defense could clear that up in a heartbeat by releasing what they know about this. And the other side of it is, of course, if we do see this footage of the object entering and then exiting from the water and accelerating, again, that would, if you'll excuse the pun, blow the skeptical theories out of the water.
We have reached out to the Pentagon to verify the authenticity of this video. We are still waiting to hear back.
A smudge on the lens, though? Like, I've seen smudges, bro. Does that look like a smudge on the lens? No. No way. Not at all. I'm trying to go back to some better views of it. That look like a smudge? No. And the fact that I'm trying to hear people say, oh, that's a person with a jetpack and all kind of different things, man. I'm like, bro, really? Y'all will say anything. Anything but try to figure out about aliens, bro. Anything to keep it from that type of talk and conversation, to steer it away from that. Y'all will say anything. That's a man on a jet with a jetpack on. Cool. Just randomly. He don't get taken down. He don't get arrested. Nothing. Nothing. Our military just lets him fly all through around them and everything because he's not a threat.
Here's 3 of the best UFO videos you've ever seen, Pooshkis.
That kind of looked like ball lightning. Except, never seen ball lightning do that.
Tell me what you think of these amazing videos in the comment section. Shabadoo
That first one, at first one, I was like, okay, you could make a case that that's ball lightning, bro. But when it started like releasing things from it, see, in my mind, that's what I think be happening. We catch a glimpse of something. It has either already released the aliens to the planet or are in the process of doing so. You know what I mean? And that's what we may be catching sometimes. Wonder how they're already amongst us and different things. Stuff like this. That's one of my theories. Or this is some Project Bluebeam. We can always say that.
We have the picture of the chandelier UFO, as it's being called, but where's the video?
I will say this, is that there is more footage. So some people got to see portions of it within the intelligence community. There is a bigger story to tell. The object did go into the water for 17 minutes, and then it did come out and shoot off at an extraordinary speed.
Wait, are you talking about the jellyfish UFO or the chandelier UFO?
So let's separate the two for your audience. So what we are calling the jellyfish UFO is a strange morphology. I mean, it looks like a jellyfish, and because it went in the water, we dubbed it that. Some people called it the spaghetti monster, and that's awesome. But the other one, the chandelier, it's because if you look at it from the bottom, it looks like a chandelier. They're two separate events, military filmed footage of designated UAP by our intelligence agencies. So I'm talking about the jellyfish UFO is the one that actually showed transmedium capability. It did go into the water for 17 minutes, did come up and shoot off at an extraordinary speed.
We have the picture of the chandelier.
I'm surprised that now that everyone is aware that there's more, they're not being forced to release it. I'm surprised that they're just sitting on it. Nobody cares enough to say, okay, all this stuff needs to come out now and we need to deal with it. I understand proper steps. You got to go through the right channels and different things like that. But bump all that, man. Let's get to the bottom of it and put it to bed. Get to the bottom of it so we can prepare if that's what we need to be doing.
And some breaking news, as the Pentagon has now released unseen footage of this mysterious jellyfish that was seen hovering around a U.S. military base in Iraq. And it reportedly even went inside of a lake and came back out as if nothing happened.
Does look like a chandelier and a jellyfish.
And soldiers at the military base nicknamed it the Spaghetti Monster. What's so crazy about it is that this video was actually taken in 2017, but was not released until yesterday. But now some people say that they've actually seen the same jellyfish. This video right here was actually taken in Mexico. But honestly, I can't even tell what this thing really is. Is it a jellyfish? Or is it an object with 2 legs and 1 tail? But chat, let me know in the comments, what do you think it is? And some break.
It's Bumblebee looking for Megatron. That's what it is, fam. Wouldn't it be crazy, though, if it is a Transformer and that's just something more to add to the mix that we got to worry about? Oh, man, I just got a feeling, fam. These next few years is going to get crazy. We're going to see and experience some things that we've been wanting to know, but may not want to know. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying, though, right? You want to know. You want to get to the bottom and get the truth of it. But that might not be the best thing for us.
Hey y'all, Myra here. This video was just literally released on Twitter. It's footage of what is to be a UFO being chased, and it drops into the water and takes off, which we've known and have seen UFO on radar have done. The military has chased unidentified objects doing the same thing. This one happens to be caught on camera. Now, is this real or is this phenomenal CGI? You guys tell me. The first clip is muted, but I posted the second clip with the original audio. Like, post, comment, repost, let me know. Tell me what you guys think this is. Is this real or is this a phenomenal hoax? I don't know how you can hoax a helicopter and 2 jets, but...
I ain't gonna lie, the movement into the water was kind of fishy, man. No pun intended. It was something. It gave off like CGI-ish vibes. Like I can't put my finger on it, bro, but just the kind of weird movement. Now, that's not to say that this couldn't be real. I'm just basing it off of what I'm seeing and what my first thoughts of and reaction to the video looks like. But it gave a weird movement, motion, you know? But at the same time, that's what they're saying about these things. They're saying their movement is nothing like we've ever seen, with the speeds and its ability to turn, pivot, and maneuver. It's all been different. So that could be what I'm seeing at the same time.
Over active war zones right now, there is such an increased frequency of what they call UAP or UFO that they have these rules whether or not they fire upon them. And people got so mad at me for saying publicly on the news that we do fire at UAP. But why we do is not what people think. So when you have an active war zone, specifically the area of the world that I'm talking about in the Middle East, anything within 27 to 30 miles of ground troops gets fired upon. That's it. But I was exposed to documents that tell me a little bit more precisely how you choose what to fire upon. And what you fire upon is anything that appears that it could have a payload.
Really?
Yeah, because it would be a threat. What do they do with like the cubes surrounded by these spheres? Nothing, because they don't look like they have a payload. So they disregard, they're not part of the mission. So my point in saying that kind of on the news, I don't need to prove to anybody it's true. It is true. I speak with people that are there right now. It is true. And there's been such an increased frequency since 2021 that it has been pushed up to kind of like critical, where they're like, okay, these things are in our airspace. We could have collisions. But more importantly, we see other countries firing on these. Russia, Syria. We know it's not their assets. So the question is, whose are these?
So when you say firing at these?
Hellfire missiles.
Right. So you have this thing
And which shape are these ones that have payloads?
I have images of one that we fired on. Looks like a jellyfish, man.
Oh, a jellyfish.
Yeah, I don't know. It's stiff, but that, you know, about the size of like a big coffee table. That's the one at least that we've fired on recently.
Big coffee, like this desk, maybe?
Yeah, about 10 to 12 feet.
And then it looks
domed, and then it has like, and they're not all like this, but this is the one we're talking about that I know was recently fired upon. There's no retrieval program that's known in these war zones. So even if they did hit something, like, first of all, would they be able to take it down, whatever it is? And by the way, we're eliminating that these are balloons, you know, drug smugglers who use balloons like that. These are objects that have controlled flight. So World War II, you know, you had these, both sides of the war, you know, all sides seeing these metallic spheres outpacing their planes. And they're like, oh, they're up to something. They got some cool technology. Problem is we find out both sides think it's, you know, the other sides. This has been happening for so long. I have an article, we can pull this up. I got an article from 1960, talks about a cube with a sphere around it. A fighter pilot, military fighter pilot, for 4 days, they were getting these. It was in the Alamogordo newspaper.
And so were both sides reporting the same, like, sort of formations and the same speed?
We thought it was their technology.
Right.
They thought it was ours. What's happening right now in the Middle East with the
Same thing?
Yeah, because we're seeing Russians and Syrians fire on these, and we're sometimes firing on them. But whose are they?
When you say we're seeing, so is this
We're
like
seeing.
reports from soldiers that you're getting? Like,
Yeah.
where are you getting this information?
Okay, so people that work in collecting this data are a little bit frustrated, and I think they're frustrated. They don't have a way to put it up through the chain of command. That it gets lost in translation,
or they just suppress it.
They don't even spend. I don't even think it's nefarious. They just don't spend the gas to go look at something that doesn't. It's not part of the mission.
Right.
There's no proactive UFO discovery process. It's all kind of reactive over active war zones right now.
I had to look up payload. So that's what I was grabbing my phone for, because that was the only thing I heard that I was like, okay, what is a payload? You know what I mean? And the definition of it is the load carried by a vehicle exclusive of what is necessary for its operation, especially the load carried by an aircraft or spacecraft consisting of people or things such as passengers or instruments necessary to the purpose of the flight. So thinking that it could possibly have people or whatever on it, that's why they're not firing on them, because they can't tell. It's basically the unknown, I guess is what I'm getting from it. You know what I mean? Anybody with a better explanation of payload, please put it in the comment section. That can do a better job of what I'm saying, but I basically read you the definition of it. You know what I mean? But again, this is what we're seeing. This is what we have. This is what's in front of us right now we're dealing with. It's like somebody said the other day, it looked like a flying quantum computer. Like it looked like a flying computer going through the air, bro. And then technology-wise, it probably is. It's probably a very high-tech flying computer with probably what's on there, the controls, the capabilities, the technology. Yeah, it's probably very high scale.
Jellyfish UAP is legit. Let me explain. Military information said this object was jamming the radar. The thermal changing was super strange, and I came across someone who said they worked with some of these platforms and never saw anything like it. We also have 3 other footage accounts of these jellyfish, and I have these at the end of the video. Bird poop is the dumbest comment I've seen. All this from the skeptics today. First off, a smear would be in focus. You would have to be zoomed out, and these weapon arrays can bullseye a target from 20 miles away. So if they're indeed tracking a UAP, smear would be blurred to barely noticeable, depends on the sensor size. And this is a little video just showcasing that very thing, and this is with an iPhone camera, let alone a lens that could potentially do 30,000 plus zoom or whatever the military has. The other thing is the object does move, and this wouldn't be the case if it was a smear. Plus we have different angles. It also, the thermal changes with the object, so that couldn't happen with the smear. You would have to heat up the lens. That would destroy the equipment. Here's some different pieces of footage from all over, from different years, including one that's over 14 years old, and showcasing these jellyfish-like entities. Jellyfish.
Listen, I'm glad he did a breakdown of that for people, but I feel like he probably just wasted air. You know what I mean? The ones you're trying to break this down and explain this to are never gonna believe you anyway. An alien can tap them on the shoulder and say, "Hi, I'm an alien from such and such planet," and they're still gonna be like, "No, you're not. No, you're not." So you just wasting your breath, but it was a really good breakdown of the whole lens situation and everybody saying it could be a smudge. You know what I mean? So listen, y'all get at me in the comment section and let me know what you thought of these videos, fam, and which side of the line are you on? Or are you neutral and you want more evidence? Totally fine as well. You know what I mean? As Corbell said, there's more to come. So y'all get at me, let me know what you think. Stick around and stay tuned till next one I'm gone. These videos will make you question everything. So remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out.
Can tarot cards open the door to the demonic? The short answer is yes. Whether it's fortune telling or introspection, it's still tapping into another source of spiritual power. There are no gray zones in the spirit realm. Only two sources of power: the enemy and the Holy Spirit. And you don't need tarot cards to get guidance from the Holy Spirit. By using tarot cards, you're only opening the door for familiar spirits to come and minister to you. They will always give you half-truths and good things to keep you hooked, because demons masquerade as angels of light. I used to read tarot cards for introspection, and as someone who was heavily involved in the New Age, I'm telling you, there are no gray zones. It's black or white. I have a full playlist called New Age to Jesus where I dive deeper into these topics. Follow for more.
Never had a tarot card reading before. No. I know witchcraft and different stuff like that when I see it. I just never wanted to just open Pandora's box with that. You know what I mean? And I've been on vacation with people, and just for example, a group of us went down to New Orleans. And then when you go down, what's the main street? It's not Bay Street. It's, well, you know the street that everybody go down. On the side streets going off of the main street, on that main strip. In the street, you have people set up tables and do palm readings, tarot card readings and stuff like that. When they were getting those done, I walked away. I steered clear. You know what I mean? And nothing against them. It's just not my cup of tea. You get what I'm saying? It is not my cup of tea. And I'd rather go get the little drink in the green little tall bottle and walk around and see the other dude standing still and doing stuff like that and tip them. I was not participating in that, bro. That stuff there freaks me out. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't scared to say it. It freaks me out.
This is the truth about tarot cards and what they actually mean. There's a lot of speculation and confusion about tarot cards, but they're meant to give you guidance and provide insight on what you may need to know. The hardest part about a tarot card reading is getting them from a reliable source. Some people don't know what they're talking about. It can give you false readings. So if you want to try the most accurate tarot card reading for free, I highly recommend this website called Read My Cards. All you have to do is type in any intention or question you have and pull your own cards, which will give you past, present, and future responses. I even tried it myself, and this reading was very accurate. Overall, it's very easy to use, it's customizable, and it's free. So visit this website or click the link in my bio to try it for yourself and enjoy your free tarot.
Nope, I ain't doing that. No. How can you know? How do you know who's behind it? That's the thing, man. A lot of you don't even know who's behind this type of stuff. And just like we was talking about with the Halloween candy, how people could, instead, some people could just pray over or cast a spell over the candy and do certain things. They ain't even got to intentionally try to put something in it. They can just cast some type of weird energy or vibe over the candy as they're giving it up. What's to say they're not behind this site doing stuff like this to this? No, man. Why? Why do you need to know anyway? Think about it this way. You're in an hourglass, and you just don't know when that last grain of sand is going to drop. When it drops, it is what it is. That's the way I'm doing it, man. I'm not doing this other stuff and want to know, man. Nah.
So I'm going through a breakup, and I was at the store today, and there was a little psychic store across the street, and I was like waiting for my car to get done charging. I was like, let me just go in. I've never got a reading done before. Like, let's just see what my 2024 is going to look like, because 2023 ended like, I got my tire slash last month, so you bet I felt like I needed to go see a psychic and see what 2024 was gonna look like for me. One was $40 for a palm reading, $60 for a tarot reading. I was like, you know what? Let me just do a tarot reading because like, she gives me the reading and it was like a reading. I don't have anything else to compare it to, so I'm just gonna assume it was like an okay reading. It wasn't like life-changing information, but like, she like wanted to know more about me, so it kind of felt like she wanted to see what was going on in my life to like give me advice towards it. I also need to mention that she like laid all the cards out, and I don't know much about like tarot readings and how they're exactly supposed to go, but I do know you're supposed to like pick out of the deck and stuff like that. She didn't do any of that. She just laid the cards flat out, didn't even talk about the cards, none of the cards. And she just was like talking to me, like she's telling me stuff. And I was just like, okay, like weird, but like, okay, like this lady runs this business, so clearly she knows what she's doing. So like, who cares what I saw on the internet about tarot readings? Like she's probably doing it the way it's supposed to be done. So towards the end of the tarot reading, she goes, you know, like you need to be just completely cleansed. Like you need to be completely cleansed because you have such negative energies in your life right now. Like you need to go through a whole spiritual cleanse. And she's like, are you ready? And I was like, duh. She's like, okay, it'll be $500. $500. Do I look like I have $500 just laying around to be spiritually cleansed? Like that, I was floored. You know what? People who do like readings and stuff, I know they are probably really good at reading like micro expressions. You know, I'm sure they are, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I know she knew I was not doing that, but I was like going along with it. I was like, okay, like, yeah, like, how does it work? And she said she would talk to me every day for the next 1 to 2 weeks, and she's gonna give me little exercises to do. And I was gonna have this packet to fill out and bring it back to her. I was gonna see her every other day. A whole thing. It was like, I just wanted a tarot reading done for $60. So she's like, how are you gonna pay me, Venmo or credit card? I was like, neither, babes, neither. Actually, in reality, I was like, yeah, just give me a second. And I pull out my phone, I'm literally like, how to get out of verbal agreement to pay $500 for a spiritual cleanse. No Google results for that. So I'm like, you know.
Just say no. You know, it's okay. Let's normalize that, okay? For 2024 and beyond. It's okay to say no. It's your money. Like, you know what I mean? She already giving you weird vibes of this isn't real and different things like that. Your skepticism is up here at high and different things. So it's okay. Say no.
No Google results for that. Oh, I'm like, you know what? I'm really still recovering from the holidays that just passed. So like, maybe like next month I'll like come back and do it. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And then she just sits there. We're just sitting there in the shop. She's just sitting there like this. And I'm just looking at her, and it's so awkward. It was probably like 30 seconds of just staring into each other's eyes. I was like waiting for her to say something because she's the one who's supposed to be good at talking because like this is her practice, you know what I mean? So she's just standing there like looking at me, and I'm just looking at her, and I'm like, yeah, so like what have you helped other people accomplish like with this cleanse, you know, just like wondering, just wanted to know. And she's telling me all the things that like have happened for people who have done it, and I'm like, oh, that's super cool. And then we just go back to sitting there again for like another 30 seconds. And I was like, well, thank you so much. What's your Venmo so I can pay? Yeah, I'll just pay real quick. And she's like, oh, yeah. And then she charged me $65, which is $5 more than what she originally told me. So I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to tip you, but I'm not tipping you because you upped the price on me. $5. Obviously, it's not that deep, but also don't tell me a price and then up the price because I feel like a lot of people who like own their own businesses do that all the time, like eyelash extension places. You guys know what I'm talking about. They'll like say it's a price and they'll be like, well, actually, never mind. It's actually $5, $10 more. And you're just like, okay. I pay her and then
I feel like she charged you. She upcharged you for that those 30 seconds of silence. Of y'all just sitting there staring at each other. She kept the meter running.
And she was like, yeah, like, here's my card. Definitely come back. If you ever want to do it, like, we'll text, we'll do all this stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And I left. Feeling scammed. And it just upset me because I am a spiritual person and I really wanted, like, to get an accurate reading done. And then I felt like the whole time she just was telling me things to make me believe something just so that I would do the package and spend $500 so that she could get it back. And that just doesn't sit right with me. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think I was scammed out of the whole reading, or do you think the beginning of the reading was true and she just wanted to throw that in to see if I would pay it? Like, I don't know. It kind of just disappointed me. Like, do I get another reading done somewhere else? Do I wait? Let me know. I love you guys so much. So I'm going through a breakup, and
I don't think it's, you know what I mean? It's no way of, I think it's no way of knowing. That's the problem for me. How do I know she's telling the truth? How do I know that? How do I know she's being real? She's being legit. She's being genuine. It's the unknown for me. That's the part of it that gets me. I have no way of verifying it. So basically, I'm running upstairs in my house. I'm grabbing some money that I got on me, and I'm just throwing it out the window. That's basically what I look at this as. Or I'm going in the bathroom and I'm flushing it down the toilet. There's no way for me to verify or understand or say, yeah, this is it. And what if you do go to a tarot card reader and something does happen? Was that did she get lucky? If you're a person that believes in coincidences, was that a coincidence? And then you go back and spend more money, and then nothing else ever happens. Like, it's too many unknowns for me.
So what is the truth about tarot reading? Because I'm sure as long as you've set even one foot in spirituality, you've come across tarot readers, oracle deck readers, fortune tellers, witches, prophets, etc. All these people have one thing in common, which is they all have the ability to experience the heart and the mind of the universe, or rather what Christians call God. These people have the ability to communicate with the sun and receive collective frequency from the universe that exists beyond limited time and space. But technically, everyone has the ability to do this without any tools. But those who are more disciplined in spiritual practice have the potential to tap more into these intuitive abilities. Mediums are designed to be the mirror reflection that shows you the full picture of what is going on at that particular point in time. Because you see, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our words all travel together in the spirit realm as energy. So here is the catch. Every living thing on this planet is in constant motion. Everything is constantly vibrating. Nothing stops to wait for anything. From the sun, moon, the planets, to us humans and plants, everything is constantly moving towards or away from something. Whatever stops moving dies and moves towards rotting and decomposition. So when a medium or a tarot reader is working with you, they are capable of picking yours and the collective's frequency only at that particular point in time. But remember, even your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, and those of the collective are in constant motion as well, meaning they are constantly changing within microseconds. So the mediums and the tarot readers can only mirror reflect you and predict the next possible outcome with regards to your current frequency in relation to the current frequency of the collective. As soon as you and the collective changes direction, the next possible outcome from the tarot reader will also change. They do not have the ability to create the reality for you. You are the creator of your own reality. What you dwell on swells on, but if you keep changing the direction of what you dwell on,
what you dwell on swells on. Okay. She out here freestyling and everything, kicking bars. You know what I'm saying? What you dwell on swell on.
Reality. What you dwell on swells on, but if you keep changing the direction of what you dwell on, then probably nothing will ever swell on. However, because we are all human beings and subject to error, all these medium works can be tampered with through projection of personal insecurities, personal shadows, and spiritual bypassing. So it's upon every individual to use their natural intuitive nature to be able to discern the truth from the projections in order to not fall victim of manipulations. At the end of the day, you do not need tarot readers or mediums to make your life easy. You are the creator of your own reality. You are the one who determines the energy you put out. If you do the inside job, you do not need the outside job.
Do the inner work.
Now listen now. This stuff can be true, right? I'm just not a person that want to see it or experience it. You know what I mean? That's like, again, being down in New Orleans. Like, I'd be a fool if I don't think some of that stuff is true down there. That's one place, bro, that makes me nervous. Makes me nervous. You know what I mean? So I'm more so about the party aspect of New Orleans than that aspect inside of it. But this stuff could very well be true, and the history around it a lot of times supports it. But yeah, just keep it over there. Just keep it over there with that type of stuff, man. If y'all like it, I love it. I love it. You know? Some people practice this stuff. It's been in their family. It's books on it. It's different things. You go in there, you see them with the jars and different stuff that you can buy, put in your home, to water out bad spirit, all this type of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, this stuff runs deep. Know what you're getting into, though. Please do before you get into it.
One thing about me is I'm gonna get scammed by a psychic. Like, every time I see one, I'm gonna go, and they're gonna scam me. And I never learn. I went to a fair with my friends today, and of course I see the psychic sign. I'm like, I have to go, guys, I have to go. This is my truth, this is my reality, this is my truth. I have to go, I have to talk to this woman. So I sit down, I'm like, give it to me. Give me the gossip. What's my future? What's my truth? She goes, you have a broken, shattered soul. Facts. Oh, okay. True. Yeah, anything else? She was like, at a very young age, you had to mature. So this woman just roasted me and then told me a fact. Just a plain fact. And then asked for $120 for me to fix everything. $120? One thing about me.
Hey, I respect your honesty. I sure enough respect your honesty right there, because you know what I mean? You kept it real. I'm gonna go get scammed. Every time I see one, she said, I'm gonna go get. I can respect that. She walks into it knowing already. And then to be basically told something broad as that, like you're broken. What? You don't say. And you were mature when you were younger or something like that, whatever she said. Quick, tell me more. That'll be 125. I would have lost my mind. Like, you know how they flip the table over in card games when they feel like somebody cheating or something like that, or they don't got no more money, so they flip the table over and run. I'm doing that. I'm flipping the table over. And I'm out of there. I'm out of there, man. No, man.
As I've been studying tarot throughout the years, there have been many incidences where my predictions come out true. Like, I would say 85% of the time my predictions come out true, and I want to tell you guys some of the stories that have happened. One time I was in my English class and I was giving this one girl a reading and she wanted to know about her love life. I was like,
during English class, so that's what we doing in school now? That's what we doing? Instead of listening, we having tarot card readings, and they say like our level of intelligence is on a steep decline. I see why now. I see why.
And she wanted to know about her love life. I was like, okay, I see that you're going to be talking to two guys at once, but they're going to be on the older side. And I didn't think it would happen or come into fruition right away, but like literally a week later, or maybe even less, she came to me and she told me that she's talking to two guys right now. Another time, my friend...
I mean, you pretty much gave her the okay to go do it. You just pretty much nudged her along to go on, go forth, be a thought, multiply. Like you just gave her the green light to be a thought, bro. Stop it.
Two guys right now. Another time, my friend was at my house and she was going to go on a date and she wanted to know how this date will go. So I did a tarot card reading and the Six of Pentacles, I think. Six of Pentacles came out. And I was like, oh, I think this guy's going to like buy you something. At most, he's gonna buy you a drink. Or she texted me after the date and she told me that the guy bought her everything. Another time I did a reading for myself and it unfortunately came true. It was kind of sad. So I was doing an interview for an organization at my school and we were supposed to show a object that represented us, and I showed them a tarot card. I showed them specifically the page of wands, sorry. And they were like, oh, so did you like predict the future for this? Like, did it say you would get in? And when I did the reading, it said that I wouldn't get in. And I told them, oh yeah, it said I wouldn't get in. And guess you could put the puzzle pieces together. I did not get in. So that is some of my tarot card prediction stories. If you would like tarot card reading yourself from me, go to the link in my bio. And also,
I want to go look and see. Like, I got a real, like, want to know if how much she's charging. That's my thing. I want to see. I know these prices can get, like, astronomical with this stuff. But we used to have, like, one of those houses that had a psychic sign on the outside of it back home. And every time I rode past there, I never saw anyone. Never saw anyone there. No car there, no nothing. Sign was always lit up, and it kind of looked like the front door was open, but I never saw anybody there.
Tarot card readings, instant scroll. You can literally get demons and demon possession just by watching tarot card readings. I'm 100% serious. They operate almost the identical same way as Ouija boards operate. People say that they talk to angels and they talk to good spirit. No, there's no such things. Angels don't communicate through Ouija boards and through cards. They're on assignment from God. Those are literally demons that people are talking to. It's not the dead. It's not the angel. The Bible also backs that up. The tarot card readers get a fortune, get a prophecy prediction from demons to speak over your life, and when you accept it, you allow it to come to pass. I've heard so many stories, and some of you guys have even commented on my videos saying you went to a psychic. They said that your spouse, your husband, your parent, somebody that you love was gonna die, and then it happened. Because these are real curses that people are speaking over you, and they use the good fortunes to rope you in to get the bad ones to come to pass. That is how Satan works, y'all.
Boom. Boom. Never really thought about it that way. Somebody tried to kind of say it that way, but never didn't break it down the way she did. I love that response right there, fam. How can you refute that? How do you know if that's not what's happening? And now you're accepting this thing. So now your thoughts become things and you manifest it to really happen. So now have you did a deal with the devil? Like, what's going on? What did you just do? Like, no. And we already talked about staying away from Ouija boards. So here's another reason to stay away from tarot cards, bro. Right here. Replay this one every time. Save this video, and every time that you have an urge to go stop and see one, listen to that. And after that, if you still do, then you're an adult. But if you don't, this might stop you from doing it.
So this comment prompted me to dig deeper into what I thought I knew about the history of Romani's turning the tarot deck from what was just a simple card game into a fortune-telling practice. I thought I knew that fact. You'll see that fact repeated in tons of places all over the internet. But when it comes to the history of the tarot or the history of Romani people, you have to check your sources very carefully because there's a ton of misinformation on the internet. So this commenter, which I'm grateful for, prompted me to do a little more digging, find a peer-reviewed, article by a scholar who's got lots of primary and secondary sources, and really check my information on this. And the story is absolutely wild. There may be a connection between the Romani still may be the people who were first using tarot decks to tell fortunes. It's possible, but I don't have any documentation for that yet. But I do have a little documentation now that it was Freemasons who spread this story because they wanted to connect the tarot to Egyptian roots, and they thought Romanis were Egyptian.
Freemasons always involved in something, some kind of way, right? Is it just me? Like, it's starting to be like the Vatican to me. Like how the Vatican is twisted up and tied into almost everything. Yeah, or the mob. Freemasons is up there for me too now.
If you want to read the whole article, it's called A Sociology of Tarot by Mike Sosterek and was published in the Canadian Journal of Sociology, which is a peer-reviewed journal. Sosterek explains that it's pretty undisputed that this card game was originally, just a card game. It was popular among Italian royalty in northern Italy in the 15th century. And in fact, many on the original hand-painted decks, many of the people on the cards are Italian royalty from that time. According to Sosterek, hundreds of years passed and the first known reference in the historical record to tarot being used for fortune telling comes from this dude, Antoine Court de Gebelin, in 1781. De Gebelin was a Freemason, and at this time, Freemasons had shifted from being simply a stonemason craft guild towards becoming this elite society that was interested in the occult, and they were using tarot to initiate as part of their initiation for their new members, and they were teaching tarot mysticism to their members, and they were purposefully generating this false story of these ancient Egyptian connections. And interestingly, I was talking about the Jewish Romani connections in many of my videos. Some of the other Freemasons were writing that there were ancient Hebrew and Kabbalistic origins of the tarot. Sosterek says there's no evidence for this. These connections are all unequivocally untrue. I mean, it was a card game from the 15th century in Italy. Now, it's certainly possible that Romanis were already using tarot cards to do fortune telling at this time, and that that's what caused de Gibelin to, claim that these ancient Egyptian traditions, because he saw the Romanis using it and he thought the Romanis originated from Egypt, which they do not. I just don't have any historical evidence of that. I can't find it. There's a lot of, 15th, 16th, 17th century references to Romani, specifically fortune telling using palmistry, but I'm not finding that for card reading. Now, a lot of people will claim that they do have evidence of that, and they'll link to this article, The Esoteric Origins of Tarot by Dr. Louis Kaiser. But guess what? Kaiser's a Freemason. And more in part 2. So this comment prompted me.
This stuff is kind of like how we talk about the government or CIA and different things and how they're all intertwined. But this was very interesting to hear some of the history of tarot cards and different things, the backstory that you don't often get to hear. I guarantee you, if you go talk to a bunch of people who stand outside in the line to get a tarot reading or anything like that, what's the history, who's behind it, they wouldn't be able to tell you. Only thing they'll be able to say is, oh my gosh, well, what made you interested? Mate, I saw it on a movie. My friend told me they got it done or something like that. You know what I mean? But they don't know the history. Like, this could have some deep-rooted history that may turn your stomach away from it and make you not even want to get it done. So check the history on it before you go trying something out a little bit. We should do that we should practice that in a lot of things that we do. You know what I mean? But listen, man, y'all get at me in the comment section and let me know what you thought about some of these theories and different things about tarot card readings. And I'm interested and anxious to see some of y'all's readings or different situations or stories or experiences that y'all have with tarot card readers. All right? It's your boy L. Stick around and stay tuned, man. Leave a like, share the video, subscribe, and till next one, I'm gone.